Check it for free. Need an oil change? Our express service will have you in and out fast. Come in or schedule your service online today.
Awesome Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The flagship.
Ball game. Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
It's Cattles.
He throws it out there. Speaks his mind. That's cool.
It's Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Happy hump day. What's happening? Ramie, how you feeling today, all right?
Good.
Really good?
Really good.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Got the grills hooked up at your
At the apartment.
palatial estate.
Yes, sir.
Very fired up about that.
I am ready to grill up some stuff.
JJ and Chris are already waiting their invitation to your Welcome to Sacramento party. They can't wait. They were telling me earlier.
Bring drinks.
Bring all the drinks you can bring, baby. We got another 1 hour show for you, Power Hour. We got A's coming up at 4 o'clock, and we figured we start here on Cattles and Ramie with the Kings. You know, as we talked about the draft, Ramie, heading into it, all the conversation, top three guys, right? We all knew the top three guys were pretty much being reported as Paolo, Banchero, Jabari Smith, and Chet. Of course, people thought Jabari would go 1. He fell to 3. Everybody had Chet going 2. Most people, if not everybody, had Paolo Banchero going 3 to Houston. The top 3. And then we had the Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray conversation. That's pretty much what the couple of weeks heading into draft night
was. There was no dispute. There was no dispute whatsoever as far as who the top 3 guys were.
Yeah, no dispute.
None.
No dispute. Those 3 names. The biggest back and forth debate was Ivey versus Murray. And, of course, you know, Keegan Murray goes out there, and he's going to play tonight against Chet, hopefully, as long as Chet plays. Can't wait to watch that game.
Is playing?
I haven't seen anything saying he's not playing. So
Chet is a very annoying name, isn't it?
It is.
No offense to him or any other Chet
I'm
out
sure
there.
he takes offense.
It's not their fault their name is Chet, but that's an annoying name, is it not? Is
Very.
that short for something? Is Chet short for something?
I don't know, is it?
Chetword.
What is it? Chet what?
Chetword.
Chetword?
Chetword? That can't be real.
No, it's not
No,
real.
that's not. Okay.
Totally made up. So yeah, Chet is an annoying name. So we got Chet versus Keegan tonight, but you know, Keegan's played great in the summer league, which leads everybody to talking about Keegan Murray. You know, Keegan Murray this, Keegan Murray that, and he deserves it. He's been fantastic. He's been the most productive rookie during summer league play. So Mark Spears of ESPN and Brian Windhorst of ESPN were having a little bit of chit-chat on the Hoop Collective podcast, and here they are discussing Keegan Murray.
But he had a sensational sophomore year. So I've had some scouts tell me they thought he was the number 2 player in the draft.
A lot of people had Jaden Ivey as the number 4 guy in the draft. There was some feel that the Kings would trade the pick, and they had some discussions. But from what I hear, like some of the teams I talked to, and look, from what I hear, the Kings didn't really have their pick on offer.
Yeah.
They liked Keegan Murray. I just think the Kings, and you could say it was wrong, and we'll see. They thought Murray was the better player.
So Windhorst says, look, they loved Keegan Murray. That's what Monty McNair said. Windy echoes what McNair said. You know, they talked to teams and they had conversations, but nothing came close to what they thought they were getting in Keegan Murray. But I want to pay close attention to Mark Spears because Spears says he's heard from some scouts that Keegan Murray was the number 2 player in this draft. Your thoughts on those comments?
I would need some clarification.
Okay.
Do they mean he's the number 2 player in the draft today? If you were ranking best players in the draft and their game today? Or are they saying he's going to be the second best player in this draft? When everybody hits their ceilings, Keegan Murray is the second best player in the draft. Because those are 2 different things.
Yeah,
right?
It's a good point because you'd say, what, Paolo Banchero might be the number 1 guy right away, and then you'd have Keegan 2?
Sure, yeah. But if indeed, let's say they're talking about best case scenario, that he's going to be the second best player in this entire draft when everybody hits their ceiling. Kudos to the Sacramento Kings for recognizing that sticking with their guy and taking him there when there was a lot of pressure to take a Jaden Ivey. But at the same time, and this won't matter, if Keegan Murray turns out to be an all-star player, what I'm about to say will not matter. But today, I think it's a fair point to bring up. You still could have gotten Keegan Murray and gotten more from what we hear in terms of the teams that were willing to trade up to number 4 to get a Jaden Ivey. I don't know if you saw it. There was a clip from the Pistons War Room.
I did.
On draft night. They were very happy that Jaden Ivey slipped down to them. And we had heard rumors that the Pistons had talked to the Kings about moving up just at one spot to get Jaden Ivey to make sure that they got their hands on him. It looks to me like still they got outplayed in the poker game, that they could have gotten their guy in Keegan Murray, and the second best player in this draft, and gotten a little bit more in assets or capital in some kind of trade to move down a spot or two. But again, like I said, if it's true, if they're right, and this guy's going to be an all-star type of player, that won't matter. We won't be talking about that 4, 5, 6 years from now.
Yeah, maybe they misplayed their hand. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't know what was on the table.
Right.
Who knows if Detroit moved up to 4, if they would have taken Murray. Nobody knows, right? We went through all of those possible machinations following the draft night. And, to me, it didn't look like there was a lot on the table for Sacramento to take and say, all right, this makes a lot of sense to move on down if, even if we do miss out on Keegan. But to look at this big picture, it's a great point by you, whether those scouts are saying right now or if the scouts are talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. The first thing I would say is nothing is universal. And I feel like people always treat drafts as universal, right? Like there are hundreds, possibly thousands of scouts watching these players. You are going to find scouts that believe Keegan Murray is the best player in this draft, whether it's right now or 5 years from now. You're going to find scouts that feel like Keegan Murray is the 10th best player in the. It's going to be scattered. Now, is there a majority rule? Yes. And the majority, I think, is what you see play out in these mock drafts, which was, hey, those are the top 3 guys. Paolo, Jabari, Chet, whatever order, those are the top 3. But when you go through this process, you're bound to find a few scouts that disagree, that are thinking outside the box. So I think that's part of it. The other part is, and we talked about this before the draft, Ramie, and we were one of the only shows, one of the only resources here in Sacramento that actually talked about this because we had Jake Fisher on the show. And Jake Fisher, when he joined us, he told us, look, it wasn't just Jaden Ivey is better than Keegan Murray. That was not how the NBA felt. Not all 30 teams, not everybody in the league had Ivey over Murray. Here was Fisher at the time.
From an educated standpoint, I would think maybe 2/3 of the teams in the league think that Ivey is the better prospect, but I do think maybe even more than a third think it could be Keegan. So it doesn't seem like a clear home run that Ivey is considered the 4th best prospect in this class.
But even that's top 3. We didn't hear anybody. And literally, you say there's never like a consensus pre-draft. And I wonder why we're hearing this now after this dude is tearing up the summer league.
Well, that's the other part.
Pre-draft, nobody was saying he was better than Chet.
Right.
God, that's annoying. Nobody was saying he's better than Chet. You know what I mean? Nobody was saying he was better than Paolo or God, I'm drawing a blank on the other guy. Jabari. Nobody had him in the top 3. There was maybe some debate, and like you said, maybe a third of the front offices thought he was better than Jaden. Nobody had him in the top 3.
No, but it's just to show. It's just to show that even like if you were to talk about opinions across the NBA before the draft happened, I think people out there reading stuff and listening to stuff and watching stuff, it almost became a fait accompli that Jaden Ivey was the better player. Now, I would have taken Ivey over Murray. I stand by that. We'll see if I'm right or wrong 3 years from now because it's all about potential with Jaden. But it wasn't as if this was universal. It wasn't as if everybody agreed that Ivey was the better guy. Now, if you read mock drafts, which is the other part of this, those are mock drafts, man. Pundits are wrong all the time. Just because your favorite writer has somebody slotted in the 4th pick in their mock draft doesn't mean the NBA feels like that is the case. And I'm sure, I don't know how many people other than Monty and Jake Fisher said More than a third, he thought, and that was an educated guess, which means he talked to a lot of people. He said more than a third of the NBA thought Keegan was better than Ivy. So I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that there were at least a handful, maybe more, that thought Keegan was the better player. And as you mentioned, I also want to know when Spears had these conversations. Because some of these scouts, after watching Keegan in the summer league...
Oh, yeah, I knew it the whole time.
Yeah. Number 2 guy, come on.
Murray, of course. Murray, yeah, I knew that guy for sure. Come on.
I also knew Paolo Banchero was going to be able to run the fast break and do all this passing stuff. Of course, I knew all of that before. It's hindsight 2020.
It does seem very convenient for this to come out now, isn't it?
It is very, very convenient. But I don't think people should be surprised that a few scouts think that Keegan Murray was the second best player in this draft.
And I wouldn't be all that surprised if he was the second best or maybe even the best player to come out of this draft. Guys are, perfect example, Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, guys who were taken 13, 14, 15 in the draft that ended up being the best player from their class.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Guys are taken anywhere and everywhere in the NBA draft and somehow go beyond their ceilings that people saw for them leading up to NBA draft day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that he's the second best, or like I said, even best player to come out of this draft class.
It'd be different if Spears said, I've got a few scouts. I've got a few scouts that are saying, Dalen Terry is the best player in this draft, who was drafted 18th by the Bulls. Now, that's a different situation, but you're talking about a guy who, again, I said from the very beginning of this process that I thought Keegan Murray was going to be the most impact player in this draft early on. And I would not be surprised if he won Rookie of the Year, because to me, he's the most ready guy for the next step. Paolo Banchero might be at that level after watching him in the Summer League because he does more than I thought he did. Obviously, Duke held him back a little bit, and he can do a lot more than we knew.
You should just come on this show and be like, I knew the whole time about this Paolo Banchero. Come on. I had him as number 1 on my board before anybody.
Paolo Banchero to the Magic.
On, man. You didn't know about Paolo.
I had it.
Of course we had it. Cattles and Ramie. Who else would have it, right?
You might not have thought about it, but we did.
Exactly.
Yeah, so look, the point is, enjoy Keegan Murray. He was fantastic in Summer League play. He plays tonight against Chet. And, we get ready for the regular season in a couple of months from now. I think he'll be a fantastic fit, as we talked about the day after the draft, the night of the draft. And, scouts have their opinions. Everybody's got their opinions. This does not necessarily shock me. Your thoughts on this story. Mark Spears saying that there are scouts out there that believe that Keegan Murray was the second best player in this draft. 916-339-1140. Also, you can call us 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget the website, sactownsports.com. What is the NBA discussing that has Ramie fuming? Find out in about 90 seconds.
If you want all the latest news and opinions about your favorite teams, visit us on IG, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. The best and most expansive coverage of your local sports.
Sactown Sports 1140.
When there's trouble in the bedroom, it can hurt more than just your confidence. It can hurt your marriage or dating life. Not knowing if you'll be able to perform at any moment doesn't help either. Pacific Men's Clinic can help. Go to the clinic that specializes in one thing, making your love life the best it can be by solving the problem at its source. Pacific Men's Clinic's non-invasive procedure. It's safe and pain-free. Call 916-545-7577 for your free consultation now. That's 916-545-7577.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise and the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback. And by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's the new spot for local sports talk in the afternoon. Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, so there are people on the YouTube channel right now, Run DMG, says, he hasn't seen Ramie upset yet.
It takes
a lot.
It's not easy to get me.
I mean, if you lose this guy's furniture for a couple of weeks, he'll get pretty mad at you,
dude.
Before I get to that, we've got some reaction about Keegan being the second best player in this draft, according to some scouts who spoke with Mark Spears. Let's see. Run DMG, Murray, a grown man, ready to be starter day one. I agree with that. Dean says, Nick Ivey's really good. Problem is, if the Kings took him, what message did that send to Sabonis? He has to play with a young point guard. Look, I think guys in the league just care about talent. I don't think Domas would be like, I can't believe you drafted Jaden Ivey if he saw the flashes and the talent with Ivey, or maybe he wouldn't see it. I don't know. But anyway, we've got some conversation to have here with Ramie, who's fired up about the NBA and what they're going to do. I'll tell you, before we get to that, though, I was fired up this morning about something, Ramie. Mm-hmm. And I tweeted this out at Nick C Radio just a little while ago. Like, driving into work today, and I see a lot of people on their phones when they're driving, but today specifically, I felt like every other person was on their phone while driving. And I just found myself asking, like, the question, like, are you really that busy?
Phone up to the ear?
No, texting, which is even worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah, texting, just looking at the phone, swiping up and down. Like, you're not that important. You can't be that busy. Not everybody has a family emergency. Like, what? Why are people always? I never ever use my phone, ever, while I'm driving, and I just saw so many people do it. If we had that many important people in the world, y'all would be more productive than we are. Okay, we would have been doing a lot more as human beings if we were that
busy.
Society
would be like 50 years ahead of where it is today.
We would be 50
if
years
people
ahead.
were as busy as they looked on their damn phones when they should be driving.
Yeah, like if you were doing actual work on your phone, if you were doing something with
We'd
purpose
have flying
on your phone.
cars. We'd have flying cars by now if people were as busy as they look.
Just name whatever you want. What you thought, like when we were like in the 90s and people were like, oh, we'll have flying cars by like 2015. No. See, we would have if people were like really that busy.
You know, they're just sharing memes and GIFs. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Like
That's all they're doing.
Texting people back and forth about what shoes they're wearing today. It's like you're going to get into a car crash. Is it really that? Is it that important to get to? You're not driving somebody to the hospital.
You don't want somebody to send that GIF that gets all the laughs before you do on the old text chain with all your friends.
I know.
Got to get that in, man. You want the yucks. You know what I mean?
Also want the quality laugh when I send one. Like if I send a GIF that I think is really funny and it gets no reaction,
GIF,
I take that personally. Yeah, I go GIF. You go GIF.
I say GIF.
Yeah.
Because the inventor of the GIF said it's GIF, and he invented it, so he gets to decide. So.
He didn't say that.
He did. Swear to God.
He's just trying to lead you to a different path.
No, that's a fact.
He wants this debate to happen so people talk about his creation.
No, I'm telling you, the inventor of the GIF said it's a GIF.
It doesn't matter. The writer of Die Hard said it wasn't a Christmas movie, so
there you go. Settled. All right, let's get to this NBA thing that's got you as fired up as I was today about these people on their phones while they're driving. The NBA, they say that they're going to stick with the play-in tournament. It's fine. Play-in tournament's here to stay. I think most people are okay with that. But about this in-season tournament, now let me give the people some context, Ramie, so they know what we're talking about before you lose your mind. The NBA Board of Governors discussed yesterday the possibility of all 30 teams competing in an in-season tournament. This would begin in 23-24. 8 teams would advance to the single elimination round. A Final Four would be held at a neutral site. Very unique idea to have a Final Four. Shams Charania previously reported in May that the NBA was discussing a potential in-season tournament, given the success of the league's play-in tournament to determine the remaining seeds for the playoffs. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski revealed in December that the inclusion of an in-season tournament would shorten the regular season schedule from 82 games to 78 games and noted the event would wrap up before Christmas. An in-season tournament would also likely have rewards for the players. The league and the Players Union have discussed a purse of $1 million for each player on the winning team, plus additional incentives. That was per Woj. So Commissioner Adam Silver was asked about this yesterday, and here's what he had to say about this in-season tournament.
The notion is, I've said this before, trying to steal a page, particularly from European soccer, where they have other trophies that they play for. And the ideal would be to take nothing whatsoever away from the Larry O'Brien Trophy, our championship trophy, but in what is increasingly a long regular season, particularly as you look at how people's habits change over time, getting people to sit down for 2.5 hours to watch a game isn't necessarily consistent with the way people watch sports or any events these days. And to say, let's find some games in the regular season, probably still within the same footprint we're operating in now, so the season would start roughly around the same time, end around the same time, but then maybe convert some of those regular season games into what we'd call a midseason tournament and begin a new tradition of something that players care about, teams care about, something to win. Again,
you know, Nick, I'm not a young man anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not an old man, but I'm not a young man. I'm 42, just to put it out there. And a couple of years ago, I caught myself being an old man. You know what I mean?
Like yelling at the clouds in the front lawn?
Every time they tried to change something about my sports or whatever, like whenever they tried to change something, I was shaking my fist at the clouds and going, you know what I mean? Like, especially in baseball with all these rules changes that they're messing around with. I was like, stop messing with my baseball. So I caught myself and I stopped myself and I was like, I'm going to be more open-minded. When it comes to these changes,
that's very big of you,
and the evolution of
big
sports,
yeah.
I'm going to try and be more open-minded.
Sure.
And for example, I didn't like the play-in tournament at first, but I was like, you know what? Let's give this a try. I love the play-in. Love it now.
There you go.
Love it. I even like the man on second in extra innings.
Don't mind
Major
it.
League Baseball.
Don't mind it.
Didn't like it at first. So I am willing to maybe sometimes begrudgingly. I'm willing to go along with change and evolution.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
This idea right here, of all the ideas that I hear floated in the world of sports, is the dumbest idea that I hear constantly float. What is the point of this? And you're borrowing from European soccer? Yeah, because that's so popular in the United States. That's what you want to cherry
Watch
pick
out,
from.
Verlad's a big soccer fan.
And I'm not, well, you shouldn't be a fan of soccer, but I'm not here to say you shouldn't be a fan
I'm
of
a
soccer.
step away from the vehicle
but the
now.
Point being, the European soccer is what you're trying to cherry pick from to grow your sport in the United States. What is the point?
Here's my
of
issue.
This mid-season tournament? I won't watch it, and I don't care. 2, 3, 4 years down the road, I still won't like it, and I still won't watch it. You're not going to get me with what's plainly a money grab. All right, I know the whole thing is about money and it's a business, and I get that. I'm willing to give them my money. I'm willing to let them use me as the product and sell me to advertisers. Fine, when it's worthwhile and when it means something. When you're just as plain as the eye can see, making a cash grab, you don't get me. You don't get me, and you don't get my money. I'm sorry. I'm out. I'm out on any midseason tournament. I won't watch it. I'll just step out of the studio if we talk about it on the show. I'm out on any midseason tournament. It's the dumbest idea in sports. Period. End of story.
What I don't understand about this, and lovely rant by you, what I don't understand about the idea of the in-season tournament for soccer is that you have different leagues. So you're playing different clubs, you're different talent, right? You're playing different matchups and all that stuff. Am I correct?
No.
No? I thought you played different leagues in in-season tournaments in soccer.
There is one that's that way, but then they all have their own in-season tournament.
Oh, so they also have
an league.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was if it was like that league, if it was different leagues, like that one soccer, again, I'm not a soccer aficionado, but if it was like that, I'd understand it more. This is just regular season basketball wrapped up with different
yes.
It's all it is okay, we're gonna have an in-season tournament between teams that already play each other during the time that is the regular season. But we're going to call it an in-season.
How dumb do you think I am?
It's the same thing.
How dumb do you think I am?
And these games in the league that doesn't, care for load management and the commissioner coming out and complaining about, we're sick and tired of this kind of stuff, and teams that are trying to protect now you have risk of injury for games that don't matter. So you're going to get rid of some regular season games. You're going to have this in-season tournament. You're not going to have these decide the seedings. You better not, because that would be outrageous. That like when the All-Star game in baseball was deciding the home field advantage for the World Series, which was ridiculous. This can't mean anything other than, like you said, Ramie, more money for the players, which fine. Okay, more money for the players, but for the fans? We're seeing the same matchups we'll see in 2 months.
It's a different trophy, though, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different trophy.
I'll be all pumped.
Oh.
I mean, this is the league that's giving out a ring for a summer league of 5 games. Let's not forget that, which is ridiculous as well. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't love it.
It's the dumbest idea in sports.
I don't know if it's that bad, but it's pretty dumb. 916.
Tell me a dumber idea in sports.
I'll have to make up a list tonight. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Phone number is 1-800-920-1140. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick C Radio. You can follow Ramie at Ramie is tweeting. Is Jimmy G finally on the cusp of being traded? We'll have the latest next.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi guys, are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 13th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special. Coastside Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills or side effects. If you're ready to regain your love life, grab your phone. Today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in minutes. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, and it's only good today, Wednesday, July 13th. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and see what can happen in your relationship. Call Coastside Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 916-603-2000.
Start your summer grilling season with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from California Backyard. The Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill turns any chef into a pro. You'll never want to cook indoors again once you experience Napoleon. The grill's built to last. The perfect gift for dads and grads. You can check out Napoleon Grills today at any of the 4 nearby California Backyard locations. Always the best in backyard living. See their huge selection of Napoleon grills and accessories at Napoleon.com.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Okay, import footage. How is the hard drive already full?
Jawan's Pilates studio converted to entirely virtual classes. But leading and editing sessions is stretching her too thin.
It says render failed. What'd I do?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? Quality oil like Valvoline Full Synthetic can help you get more out of every mile. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $36.99. Got an older vehicle? Try Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage options. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Shop a dealership you can trust. Folsom Lake Kia, over 20 years right here in Sacramento. Save big on your favorite new Kia models and get low interest financing. Visit my friends at FolsomLakeKia.com.
Be part of the vintage motorcycle invasion of Monterey's WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca for the AHRMA Classic Moto Fest, July 15th through 17th. Nowhere else on the planet can you experience vintage motorcycles and daring sidecars, chasing down the iconic corkscrew, flat track bikes at full speed, and off-road racing. The paddock includes a swap meet, a Strider Bike Adventure Zone, food trucks, and more. Tickets begin at $20, and children 15 and under are free. For tickets, visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the afternoons.
You're talking to the original tag team of ugly pukes here.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Tell you, I was on SactownSports.com earlier today, on there last night, and our digital team has done a fantastic job. Joe, who manages the digital team, has been fantastic. He's been with us for about a month, as a matter of fact. A month tomorrow. And Chris and Frankie, who were down there doing digital for us, all sorts of coverage. They did mailbags, they did interviews with players, they did just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of content for all of you. And, of course, Jason Ross was down there, did a great job, caught up with a number of people for interviews for the morning show. And if you missed out, go to SactownSports.com. Also, check out the YouTube page, Sactown Sports 1140. I was talking to Joe, the guy who leads the digital team, and he told me that 66% of the people that visit us on YouTube have yet to subscribe.
What?
Yes. So if you like the YouTube content, Summer League content, the shows in the morning, this show in the afternoon, just click that thumbs up button and subscribe.
Subscribe, like, rate, the whole thing.
66% of you have yet to do that. So let's get going. Let's get it cranking. We want to give you more content. And, you know, the more we can prove to the big bosses and upper management that people are watching and subscribed, the more content we can produce, the more people we can bring in. So you can help us do that. But as far as the Summer League content and coverage, it's all brought to you by Power Business Technology. You can find them online at powercopiers.com. Speaking of the YouTube page, before we move on to some football and the latest on Jimmy G, whether or not he's sooner or later out the door, we did have some people helping me with, you know, I'm not a gigantic soccer fan. I can't give you all the rules in that. And I thought the in-season tournaments for like all of soccer in Europe were, you know, league versus league.
That would make some sense, or at least drum up some interest or intrigue for me if I was a fan of a very boring sport. But they're just the same teams that would otherwise be playing each other in the regular season. That's what
Vlad said. That's what Vlad told us. But so Collega 311 apparently is a big soccer fan, and Collega 311 YouTube, again, Sactown Sports 1140, chatted in. The difference with soccer too is clubs have different goals on those multiple trophies. Some rotate their players simply around a single trophy rather than all three. So they do tend to play different people at different times in those different tournaments.
So confused.
Collega also says the major clubs are deep enough to field 1.5 or 2 full squads to handle the multiple competitions. How's the NBA going to handle that? Again, like, I don't see this as a separate competition. I mean, this is regular season basketball with different gift wrapping. That's what it is. It's like they're the same teams, same players. We'll take 4 regular season games away because we're going to play regular season games that we won't call regular season games. You know, give the players a ring like they're doing in the Summer League. I mean, it's ridiculous. But I do want Verlad's take on this.
Well, I'll say you put that Final Four in Vegas every year, it's going to be packed every single time.
That is true. Look, they'll make money off of it.
People go crazy for the Summer League.
Nobody's denying they'll make money off of it. It's just, if you're looking at this for what it truly is, what it truly is just trying to make a little extra
as a fan, seriously, I'm trying to understand. As a fan, what is the added interest or intrigue when you make it a mid-season tournament versus if it was just a regular season?
It's just something different.
I don't get it. I'm not,
like, if it's something different, it's one of the things of if you sell it and you make this a regular thing, if they say, like, around Christmas every single year you're going to have the finals of the NBA Kia tournament 2023.
And they play for the Michael Jordan trophy?
Oh, yeah. I'll watch it.
Would it be Blake Griffin trophy? It's a Kia.
The Blake Griffin trophy. And it would have him jumping over the car from the dunk contest as the top of the trophy.
The trophy, yeah.
All right, anyway.
I don't get it. I don't think I'm going to get it. Like I said, 3, 4, 5 years from now, if this is a thing, Still going to hate it. I've come around on some stuff. Still going to hate that idea.
They'll make money off of it. They'll market it. They'll promote it. They'll make money off of it. People will watch. But
I won't.
Yeah, it's.
They won't get me.
I'll watch it because it's just regular season basketball.
I'm boycotting it.
Anyway, let's move here. Let's switch gears. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports, 1140. So Jimmy G is still a 49er, if you were wondering. Matt Barrows at The Athletic reported in the last 24 hours that Jimmy G actually has been throwing for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But you still look out there, Ramie, not a ton of options. It's now July 13th. Quarterback rooms are pretty full. I know one of the teams that we've discussed, the Seattle Seahawks, they've been linked with Jimmy G. And here was ESPN's Jeremy Fowler talking about Seattle and San Francisco.
And you have Seattle that's still out there. They were sort of implicated in the Baker Mayfield situation, didn't make that move. I'm told that internally they have discussed the possibility of Garoppolo playing for them. They've done their film work to see how he would fit. Tricky, certainly, to do a trade inside the NFC West. But the 49ers and Seattle know they can maybe sort of wait this out because the 49ers have limited cap space right now, I think around $5 million. They want to re-sign Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel. To do that, they need some of Garoppolo's $24 million in base salary.
All right, Ramie, your thoughts. Are you buying this, Jimmy G to Seattle?
I think it's a possibility. Who was it that's filling in for Rome? Damon
Amendolara.
He made a good point when it comes to Seattle. At this point, do you really want to have a tank year and then go all in with a rookie quarterback next year? If you're a 70-year-old Pete Carroll, you probably don't. So you would think Pete Carroll would like a veteran QB for this year and maybe beyond if they can do some things with Jimmy Garoppolo and maybe give him a contract extension when he lands there in Seattle. It makes sense to me that Pete Carroll would want a Jimmy Garoppolo type for like one last run. You know what I mean? For a year or two or three.
He's in his 70s now, and you can't imagine he's going to hang around for 5-6 years, but maybe he will. I mean, Carroll never looks his age. I mean, he does look younger. Look, I know people are jumping off here, this Fowler thing, but every team discusses options. Like, I'm pretty sure that every team in the NFL has discussed Jimmy G, just as an idea. Just as a possibility to say, hey, look, if one of our guys gets hurt, maybe we can bring in Jimmy G. That's their job, due diligence. It would be irresponsible for the Seahawks organization, especially with their quarterback situation right now. It'd be irresponsible of them to not at least discuss Jimmy G, to not at least put him on the board and say, well, he's an option, right? He's an option, everybody? Yes, he's an option. Great. Okay. What's it going to take to get him? And that brings me to, there's no urgency. Seattle doesn't have to do anything. Like, no team in the league right now has to do anything. They know that San Francisco can't do much at all with Jimmy G in the moment. Like, he doesn't want to be there. They know that, they're going to give the keys to Trey Lance. All the other teams in the league know that. If you're waiting like Seattle, you can just wait to see if they cut Jimmy G. And then as you get closer to the regular season, then, yeah, you could probably make the move. And then Jimmy G might have to start, game 4 or 5 of the season except one because he's got to get caught up. Mm-hmm. But there's no rush. Seattle has no urgency. No team has urgency for Jimmy G.
But I think if from the 49ers standpoint, the worst thing you can do is to make it seem like there's some urgency on your end, too. People make it seem like Jimmy G can't come to camp. You can't have this guy in camp. It's just gone too bad between him and the team. You don't want him looking over Trey Lance's shoulder. And I don't think that's the case. I was reading who covers near to the mark. Who covers the 49ers for The Athletic? Matt Barrows. I was reading his piece today, and he makes a really good point. The only reason Jimmy Garoppolo has not already been traded and gotten a pretty decent haul for him is that shoulder injury, because when you look at some of the quarterbacks that have changed teams this offseason and the assets, whether in a trade or free agency, that were given up to get them, you're talking about guys that have worse track records in terms of win percentage, both regular season and the playoffs, than what Jimmy G has. You got Baker Mayfield, Mitch Trubisky, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota. All those guys changed teams this offseason for either a pretty good chunk of change or a good haul in some kind of trade. If I'm the 49ers, I'm good with Jimmy G showing up to camp, showing everybody he can throw, and while that's happening, let's see what the fallout is with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. Let's see if what they think of Drew Lock by the time the preseason is over in Seattle. See how the quarterback situation changes around the league as the preseason goes on. And Jimmy G, coming off that shoulder surgery, is showing people he can throw the football. And there's a decent haul out there waiting for the 49ers in exchange for Jimmy G once he shows he can throw a football again.
Yeah, I disagree with all of that. I wish I could tell you why, but we're a little up against it. I'll tell you why I disagree with everything Ramie just said in Matt Barrow's row coming up next.
It's Cattles. It's Ramie.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Greetings, Sacramento. It's Doug Christie here with the Good Feet store asking, when was the last time you did something nice for your feet? If you're like most people, your feet get attention only when there's a problem. That can mean something painful, maybe real painful, like plantar fasciitis. That was me. I counted on my feet to make a living, but ignored them until almost too late. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store, got my free personalized fitting and test walk, and in 20 minutes, I left with my expertly fit Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The pain was no more, and my feet have never felt so comfortable. I'm a Good Feet believer, and you can be too. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto. Online at goodfeet.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed small business. Local ownership cuts out the red tape while ensuring our staff has the autonomy to make the quick, respectable business decisions necessary to deliver on our promise to always exceed the expectations of our customers. The power of our local family team will help you with your business printing needs. Contact us today at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Yams, carrots, peas. Immune health is important. Salmon, swordfish, almonds. And when it comes to vitamins and minerals, healthy foods hold them all. Pumpkin, peppers, beets. But can you hold them all? Oh, so full. Sunrise Natural Foods has the healthy foods and the largest selection of immune-boosting supplements your body needs. So eat healthy and supplement too with a great selection of health from Sunrise Natural Foods. Learn about monthly specials at sunrisenaturalfoods.net.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave talking to you about Capital Casino. Summertime heat is here, and Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite all of you to soak up some air conditioning, hang out, have some food, have a beverage. Always the most variety of table games in the region. Always the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Open Championship celebrates its 150th anniversary this weekend at St. Andrews in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding your motorcycle with your buddies on the open road. It's a potent cocktail of thrills, laughter, and pure adrenaline. A feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, sound effects guy.
I'm real proud of you, son.
Wow, that was terrible. Our apologies for even trying. Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it.
So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Cattles and Ramie. Sactown Sports 1140.
Sactown Sports 1140's coverage of the 2022 Open Championship brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Again, the Open Championship coverage here on Sactown Sports 1140 begins tomorrow, July 14th through the 17th, and thanks to Naturewood Home Furnishings. I want to get to Chet versus Keegan, which is going to happen in just over an hour from right now. Should be a fun game to watch with those two guys. Should be pretty entertaining. But just to get back, I want to tie a bow on what you were just saying, Ramie, with Matt Barrows, writing that he believes Jimmy G would have brought back a haul. I vehemently disagree. And I have felt this way from the very beginning. I don't think Jimmy G was bringing any kind of haul back to the Niners. Contract situation, number one. Injury history, number two. We can sit back and we can talk about, how his winning percentage is great. Nobody, and I mean nobody in the NFL watched the 49ers with Jimmy G as a starting quarterback and walked away saying, man, they got themselves a quarterback. They walked away saying, man, they have found a way to win with that quarterback. That's what they did. And did he have a couple of good games here and there? Sure. But he is at best an average quarterback. And I would take even, Carson Wentz over him. At least Carson Wentz back in 2017.
What about Baker Mayfield?
I'd take Baker over Jimmy G in a heartbeat. Baker's younger. He's been healthier. He's had better seasons. He has a better resume. He has better pedigree. Again, I appreciate the fact that Jimmy G was good enough to be a starting quarterback in the league, but I do not think a Jimmy G football team wins as much as this Niners team did with him unless it's built the way they're built.
John Lynch essentially say we had people interested in trading for Jimmy G. Then we found out about the surgery just like you did.
Sure,
So there are deals out there.
John Lynch said that, I'm sure. John Lynch is also trying to drive the value up of his quarterback that he needs to get rid of because he's making $26 million on the cap.
I believe it, and I'm not saying that like Jimmy G is some world beater or franchise quarterback.
Was there a deal? I'm sure they could have been able to trade him. I'm sure they would have been able to deal him if it wasn't for the injury. I don't think any team in their right mind would have given the Niners more than a conditional third-round pick or something that would have turned into a second.
That's something.
And Tim, oh yeah, sure, but it's not a great haul. It's not this big haul. It's something. And
I was talking about something similar to what the Browns got for a Baker Mayfield, or what the Colts got, or Colts gave up for Matt Ryan. That type of deal is what I'm talking about. At this point, because of what you're saying,
Matt Ryan's better than Jimmy G. I mean, it's not even close. Ryan is so much better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Career-wise, yes. At this stage in his career,
Still
I don't
better.
know what Matt Ryan
Still
has
better.
in the tank.
Jimmy can't play without getting injured. Still better. Give me Matt Ryan any day. If I'm a contending team, shoot, the Colts had it, right? The Colts had the option, and they picked Matt Ryan. I'm taking Matt Ryan all day. If Matt Ryan makes a heck of a lot more money than Jimmy G, I'd still take Matt Ryan. Jimmy G's average at best. He is what he is. He made a lot of money. Good for him.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
He'll
I'm
play
saying
in the league.
This league is quarterback starved enough that if not for that shoulder, I think you find somebody who takes a shot on Jimmy G.
Yeah, I don't know. The quarterback-starved league didn't give up much for Baker Mayfield, the former number one pick, who's only worth $18 million right now in the cap. Again, I just don't see it. And Tim Kawakami, John Lynch he's got a job to do. Tim Kawakami, right as the season ended, another writer at The Athletic for the 49ers, Kawakami wrote that nobody really was, what people were telling John Lynch on the phone was, hey, if you get a good deal, let us know about it. John Lynch those conversations were happening, but how many of those conversations happened because John Lynch picked up the phone and made the call? I would have to say probably most of them. All right, let's get to Chet versus Keegan. The number 2 pick versus the number 4 pick. Ooh. Disclaimer, Ramie, Summer League.
It's Summer League.
It's just the Summer League. And I know we've given that disclaimer all week, but are you somewhat excited to watch this matchup between Chet Holmgren and Keegan, or you just say, Summer League?
I mean, as excited as one can be for the Summer League.
Relatively
you know what
speaking,
I mean?
yeah.
Which it's more than excitement. It's more just intrigue, like turning it on and going, all right, what can these guys do? What do these guys got? And I think that athletes, while they'll try and downplay stuff like this, I think athletes, you don't get to the level that they're at without having pretty fiery, competitive spirit. You know what I mean? And they want to go out there and show something. They know people are watching and seeing what number 2 is going to do against number 4. And I think these guys want to go out there and show something. I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all, and they're going out there and, putting their whole careers on this Summer League game. But, they're going out there and they want to show that their team made the right decision and that they were the guy that should have been picked. You know what I mean?
I agree.
There's definitely an element of that.
I agree. And I especially think that's the case for Holmgren because people have been talking about Keegan, and rightly so. Keegan deserves all the love he's gotten. Again, as long as we give you the Summer League disclaimer, he's played as well as you could expect. He's had some more turnovers than I would like. He hasn't done everything perfect, but he's been the most productive guy. And so Holmgren's seeing this and hearing this, that Keegan's been the best rookie in Summer League. And, Holmgren probably has a little bit to prove because he had that first really good game, and he hasn't been as good since then. So I definitely think Holmgren, I don't know, I don't take Keegan as that kind of a guy where, he's going to get, as we've talked about, too high or too low. Like, he's just kind of going to approach the game. I think Keegan is more, this is about me, and I've got to prove to the world that I'm good. I don't know if he gets into the, back and forth. Maybe he does. Maybe he does look at it and say, hey, man, this guy was picked second. I was picked fourth. Bleep that. I'm better than he is. But it's not about, look, I'm excited. I watch Summer League. I enjoy basketball. I watch basketball whenever it's on. I'm a hardcore fan. I'm just that into it. But this conversation of Holmgren versus Murray really isn't about tonight, and we know that. It's about 2, 3, 4 years from now. Then we'll know. It's not a popular thing to say in 2022 to wait for a few years, but that's what the draft is.
But we can be in the moment and enjoy tonight.
Yeah,
you know
that's what I
mean?
said. I'll enjoy it. I'm excited to watch it. I am. But inevitably, this is not going to be some grand chapter in the book of either player. Inevitably, it'll be what happens beyond this. What I will say about tonight's game, Chet's skill level is ridiculous. He's just, his skill is so ridiculous at his height. But as we've talked about, his frame can get in the way. And is he going to be able to build on that frame? He has been bullied from time to time, and that's going to happen at least the first couple of years in the league because, as you see, he's not a big dude. He's tall, he's long, but he's not big. As far as Keegan tonight, I would like to see him, again, not the end of the world. He's been very good, but I would like to see two things specifically. I would like to see Keegan a little more aggressive early versus, the last 5 minutes of Sunday's game, he took over. And I'm not saying he has to do that for every single minute he's on the floor, but I would like to see him be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive earlier than he's been the last couple of games. I'd also like to see them post him up a few times. To me, he has not posted up nearly enough, and that's a part of his game, especially if they're going to play him at the 4. He has to develop that post-up game more. I would like to see him get some more touches in the paint, Ramie. And as far as just what he's already done, just continue little things. Like continue those cuts, continue rebounding, continue to, find space off of movement for open shots. But that's what I'm looking for. That's what I look for when I watch Summer League.
You're right about the aggressiveness, the assertiveness early on in games because he definitely has that thing late in games where it's like, okay, it's go time. And he'll go out there and he'll make some plays and even go on some runs where he just he had 10 points in the fourth quarter of that comeback on Sunday. He has that thing in him, but I would like to see him be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more assertive. And I'd like to see him take it at Chet Holmgren if they find themselves around the hoop and that big, skinny, goofy dude is standing there. Like you said, body him up and put him in the hoop. Put him in the hoop if you get a chance.
Challenge that guy, and it's not just points. When I talk about aggressive and assertiveness, because look, you can be aggressive and assertive and not score 10 points or 20 points in a quarter. Mostly, you could really tell on the glass. Like, I think through the first 3 quarters on Sunday, he had like 1 rebound. He finished with 7 or 8 because, again, he was much more assertive at the end of that game. Attack the glass, get involved, put some pressure on the opposition earlier than the last 5 minutes of the basketball game. Cattles Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. We have not gotten to this just yet because we've had so many short shows, including today. But Ja Morant was sitting down with Taylor Rooks, and they had a conversation about MJ, and here's where that discussion led.
I heard he was like just
Jordan.
I heard he was like just how he, go about the game, just that mindset he had.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, play against him. So.
Yeah. This time you're not saying, I would have cooked her.
I would have cooked him, too.
You would have cooked Michael Jordan?
Man, nobody got more confidence than 12.
Ramie, I give you the floor for about 90 seconds.
Come on, man. Why do guys... Why? Like, why? You're not cooking Michael Jordan. What is he even talking about right now? There's a trend of guys saying stuff when they're talking to Taylor Rooks. I don't know if they're just trying to impress the young lady or what, but dudes be saying some crazy stuff when they're talking to Taylor Rooks. Okay?
We gotta get Keegan Murray to sit down with Taylor Rooks.
Brown say that he could win 5 championships? Like, dudes go a little nuts when they're talking to Taylor Rooks. And I get it, man, but they're like, I could beat up Thanos. Like, what are you talking? You're not gonna cook Michael Jordan. No, you're not cooking Look, might he blow past Michael Jordan once or twice in a game? Yeah, okay. But Michael Jordan in a game against Ja Morant? Stop, dude.
Here's what I would say. I think Morant would have moderate success is how I would deem it against MJ. He's got speed. He's got burst. He's a different athlete. Look, MJ was an unbelievable athlete, as we know. But Ja Morant plays a different position. I do think he's a little bit quicker than MJ would be. And I think MJ would have some trouble at times playing against somebody like that in this era. And that's why I do not like these conversations. Because basketball is different, man.
Why are we having it?
Because he said it, and I know that you disagreed with what he said, but Jordan didn't play many guys like Ja Morant. He just didn't. He didn't play a lot of dudes who were, what's Ja, like 6'2", 6'3", but he jumps through the gym and he's just like this ridiculous athlete. There were a few guys like that in the league, but now in the NBA in 2022, it's littered with insane athletes. It's played differently. You've got, you don't even have your prototypical big man outside of a handful of guys anymore. These dudes shoot. Look at Chet Holmgren tonight, who's 7'2". He's dribbling behind his back and hitting pull-up threes. It's a different game. It's a different time. The game is called differently, the way it's officiated. But I do think Ja would have some moderate success and that's not slighting Jordan, that's giving credit to Ja. I do think he has special athleticism, and he's a very difficult cover for even the best defensive players nowadays. So even MJ, who was a great defender when he played, there are great defenders right now that Ja can have moderate success against. So I don't think MJ would completely shut him down. Would he drop 45 every time he played MJ? No, he wouldn't. So, depending on your definition of cook. But I do think he'd have some success against him. That's it. Again.
Already?
Another power hour. Thanks to Verlad. Thanks to JJ. A's baseball coming up. Thanks to Ramie. We're back tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is a full go. A full rock
3 hours?
solid 3 hours. Right. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
When I shoot the moon, high jump the broom, like a preemie out the womb. My partner yelling too soon.